Hello everyone, I'm Jeff Standley with Standley Handcrafted. Today I wanted to talk about not only getting into fall candle season, winter candle season, but actually throw a little bit of caution to this upcoming candle season. But before we get into that one, like I said, my name is Jeff Standley. I make candles and I make videos all about how to make candles. And I definitely try to get into the business side of candles along with tutorials and everything like that. And that's what this one is going to be more on the business side. And like I said, this is going to be a little bit more of a word of caution going into this next season, especially for newer candle makers. Not so much the older candle makers or ones that have been watching this channel for a little bit. This is going to be kind of familiar territory. But if you're a new candle maker, and you didn't know, this is usually the time of season where you start ramping up everything. You start getting more supplies, you start getting more oils. Sales are going to start to really shoot up, especially with the dip that normally comes through the spring and summertime. Or at least that's definitely the way it works in my area and typically through the United States. So I have talked to other people who are in other countries and definitely different parts of the US where it doesn't dip as much. But speaking from my experience, the spring and summertime, and I think a lot of people would agree with this one because it's been noted in the past, it definitely dips quite a bit through the spring and summertime. So everybody gets real excited now that fall is hitting. And right about this time, I usually make a video talking about getting supplies and what to get. And of course that video is coming, but I'm definitely a little bit more hesitant going into this season than I have in past. And I think Erica did a really good job on making this video. And if you haven't seen that video, I'll leave a link to her video in the description down below. So definitely jump over there. Erica from Memory Box Candle Co. She did a great video talking about the uncertainty of going into this next candle season, talking about the uncertainty of kind of going forward and definitely going into this candle season, which is why I kind of wanted to touch on this just a little bit. Not the complete topic that she covered, but something a little bit more along the lines of like supplies and everything like that, especially going out to new candle makers going into this upcoming season. Now, of course, I don't think it's unknown to anybody out there watching this. The economy is definitely in a dip right now. And if you're just focusing on candles and everything like that, it might seem a little bit normal because like I said, the spring and summertime is usually a little bit of a dip. So everybody's getting excited. So of course, everybody's getting excited now that fall season is here. And like I was saying a second ago, this is normally where I would start to tell people to ramp up your production, start to get things that you think you might run out of. And that's kind of where I wanted to detour just a little bit and talk about this upcoming season. And again, throw a little bit of caution to the wind, especially going into this one, just because I know from everything that I'm seeing, supplies, sales, now that I'm selling supplies, I see the dip in that one, selling candles. And again, I haven't been selling too many candles on my website for almost the last year just because I've been focusing on the website or the supply website for so long. But everything is definitely down, and it's down more than normal, which makes me a little bit cautious going into this one. Now, of course, my advice on this one is going to be very subjective. Like I said, some countries, some areas, some states, cities are not seeing this, and you may not be seeing this. So please go forward with whatever you normally do. But for me, I'm approaching this season a little bit more cautiously. I'm not ordering near as much as I would just because I don't know what sales are going to be like. Now, I am ordering enough. To make sure that I do have supply, but I'm not over ordering like I normally do going into this season. Like last year, I ordered a bunch more lids, more than I normally would, just because I knew I would end up using them anyway. But for me this year, I'm only ordering about kind of what I think I will need. So, and I'm not going to double the order. I'm not going to add 100 or 1,000 more of any particular item, just because I don't want to be stuck with a lot of excess materials when January rolls around and then I've still got hundreds of bags of wicks or something like that on hand that I now have to try and get rid of. And wicks I'm really not too concerned about, but it's more for the oils. Having just gallons and gallons of oils sitting around, which will be fine, but of course some of those don't really sell through the spring and summertime again. So if I've got a huge supply of like a pumpkin spice or something like that, I definitely don't want that sitting around until next year. I'd rather get new supply when the next year rolls around. And that's honestly what makes this upcoming candle season a little bit more, I don't know, okay, I don't want to say risky, but it definitely leaves a lot more unknown that I would normally go into the season with. And if you follow along with the videos and you're a part of some of the Facebook candle groups that are out there, you have definitely seen this topic come up quite a bit. A lot of candle makers are talking about sales being down way more than normal. Again, that's why so many people are excited for this fall kind of candle season that's coming up, is everybody's hoping that sales will jump back up to normal sales. And that's exactly where I'm trying to kind of hold back just a little bit and not go overboard and really overdo things. Like I said, I'm definitely going to order the oils. And that's what I would tell people out there, any new candle maker that's out there, I would definitely say get what you can. And of course, this is just basic advice. I have no idea what I'm talking about when it comes to the economy. I'm just going off of the sales and everything that I see. And of course, I'm in a very large candle group, so I see a lot of people talking about the same types of things, which makes me think that it's kind of heading in a certain way. So, and that's where this advice gets a little bit hard to tell for just anybody out there, because everybody's situation is definitely different. If you're comfortable ordering 100 jars or 1,000 jars, then definitely do that. I guess the advice I would give on this one is if you're going into a season and you want to order, or you typically order 100 jars, and you're thinking this year I'm going to go ahead and double it, I'm going to order 200 jars or 2,000 jars, that's where I would definitely say hold off just a little bit, or try to order some, see how it goes, and then order more while you still can. Now, in my particular situation, it's a little bit different this year because I now sell a lot of supplies. So the vessels that I normally use, or the ones that I use in my line now, I've got a backstock on. So I'm not really looking at vessels as far as I'm concerned this year, but I know a lot of people are out there. So for me, it's really gonna come down to oils. So I order a lot of oils. I sell oils too, but I'm going to be using a bunch of oils outside of the line that I carry, and that's where I'm kind of taking a little bit kind of longer look, or a harder look at what I'm ordering and exactly how much I'm ordering. And of course, even as I make this video and talk about this one, and like I said, that's where this one gets a little bit difficult, because now is definitely the time to order this stuff. And for me, instead of ordering like 25 pounds or 10 pounds or 5 pounds of any particular oil, I'm starting to rethink what I actually want to get and how quick I want to reorder or kind of get a second batch, because if you're watching the video or if you don't know, things definitely tend to run out as far as like suppliers go as you get closer to the Christmas holidays. And that's normally where I'm making a video right now telling people to double up on lids and jars and stuff like that, because almost every single year I run out of something. I run out of lids. Lids are a huge one. So I usually try to get a bunch of lids. And this year I'm definitely up in the air on what to do with any of that stuff, just because I want to make sure that I set money aside for just future growth. If a new jar comes out, if new oils come out, I want to make sure that I've got everything kind of covered in case it is a bad season and I need to kind of divert that money elsewhere instead of just to a bunch of supplies. And again, going back to the beginning of the video, I do think a lot of people that watch this channel, the ones that watch the videos, the ones that are in the groups, they know to kind of watch out for some of this stuff. They've been in it a long time. So this is definitely a video kind of catered a little bit more towards new candle makers going into this season. And the only reason I even throw this advice out there is because I have done the same thing. I've gone into multiple seasons, farmers markets, anything like that, where I think a particular season or a year or a market or anything is going to just dominate. So I really like double and triple up, and I get a bunch of stuff in anticipation for huge sales, only to be kind of let down by that current market or that current season. And then I'm left with an overstock in the garage of maybe some stuff that only works for November, December, or something new comes out and I wish I would have saved a little bit of money to put into that new product that came out. And I'm definitely reminded of the financial quotes where it says live within your means. I guess I would flip that to say build within your means this season. Definitely build your candle business within your means, and definitely pay attention to the current economic climate and just see where it is before you start to go really after things. Because there are so many candle makers, and again, this came up in the group recently, the Facebook group, and I do have a link to that down below if you're not in that group. There are a lot of candle makers getting out of candle making right now because it is so frustrating, and a lot of these people are left with an overstock of supply because it was doing so well for so long and it's really hit a slump recently. So I definitely don't want to make this a kind of a downer video. It's definitely not a downer video. It's still going to be a great season. I was looking up some statistics earlier. The economy is definitely in a slump, but it's still up from last month, which is incredible. I thought it was going to be down a little bit more, but it is kind of on an upswing. So that gives me a little bit of hope for a good candle season coming up. But I know for me personally, I am watching it a lot closer this year. And again, like I said, the next couple videos are going to be about what to look out for. I mentioned it a little bit in this video, going after oils, lids, anything like that, but it's definitely fall season. Definitely start preparing for it, and we'll talk about all that stuff in the next couple videos.